What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Thank you for all of the new subscribers and the current subscribers. This morning, it is Saturday morning, April 2nd, taking a look at CASPER. Once again, this thing has been moving up quite nice, and let's jump right into this video. So on the screen, you're just looking at the CASPER website. If you have not been over there, go ahead and check that out. Give you a good overview of what's going on with the CASPER network and the CASPER token and all of that good stuff. So go ahead and check that out if that's something you are into. We are into the charts, so we're taking a look over here at the charts. We are on TradingView. We're on a daily chart. And so on the screen, you see some interesting things. I have these three boxes laid out, and I will explain why they are on the screen. So you have a box over here to the left-hand side. This box is basically over in July of 21 through August. You have this big old box here from August all the way to January of 22. And then you have some more recent times, January 22 over to where we're at now, which is April 2nd. This year is moving quite quickly. So let's take a zoom in here. Why do I have these boxes on the chart? Well, I wanted to share. Sometimes it's hard to see these things, but when you go ahead and throw these boxes on it, gives you a good visual, kind of makes more sense. So inside these boxes is basically a trading range over time and a basing structure. And the price will get stuck in these ranges for whatever the time may be. Obviously, you can see there is longer time frame boxes and shorter time frame boxes. And sometimes if you see the price basically being stuck in a trading range, you can go ahead, take your box tool or whatever it's called, your rectangle tool on TradingView or whatever platform you use, and try to make a box around the price. So the highs and the lows, and you'll keep it within that range, and that'll help you kind of give you a visual of when the price starts to move out to the upside or to the downside of that trading range, that basing structure. So you can see over in here, this July time frame through August, that the price was bouncing. It came down here to the low, came down here to the high, came up to the high, and then eventually we got a break above that box. And the key with these boxes are, it just gives you a good visual to see when the price is breaking out. So over in here, August 6th, we broke out of this basing structure. So CASPER turned this area into, instead of overhead resistance up in here, now on the 7th of August, it wicked down into this old trading range, this old box, and now it has a new trading range, and now it's up in here in this bigger box. So it turned resistance, so it found resistance on the 18th of July, kind of pulled back, consolidated, coiled up like a spring, and boom, exploded to the upside. And then once again on the 7th, it broke higher as well, wicked down into this, what is now an old trading range, and turned this into support. So overhead resistance now turns into support. And then moving on over to the right hand side here, you can see now that this whole trading range, if you look all the way over, these wicks, so you have a wick here on the 7th of September. Now you did break below that, but it did not last. You have a nice wick down in here on the 27th of October. So you can see how this whole area now has found support at this old area, which was resistance, right? Where basically these two boxes meet up. And you could see over to the right-hand side, more recent times, CASPER actually now turned that old support area, this whole level right here, broke below it. Now we're back in this old trading range back in here. And you can see that we've actually now turned what was support into resistance. So right in here on the 7th of February, the 8th of February, had a sharp move down, had a reaction, which is normal, and struggled. Now we are finding resistance overhead for CASPER. And why do I explain all this or bring this up? Well, here we are again. We put a bottom in down here on the 15th of March and had a very sharp move to the upside after we put that double bottom in. And here we are once again. Where are we at? We're at that same level that was once resistance over here and then turned into support through all this range, broke below it. And now what is it doing once again? Well, it's at that battle. It's at that crucial moment right now, today, yesterday, the 1st of April. CASPER right now is trying to get out of this whole trading range in here. It's trying to break out above it and turn right here, this February 8th, this February 7th, resistance into support. And we had a good break above it on the yesterday, the 1st of April, and then as well today on the 2nd of April, today's candle. And it's a battle. You can see it's struggling right now. It's got two things to deal with. It's got all of this overhead resistance in here. So that's one, and that's a lot. That's a lot of overhead resistance. A lot of days were traded in here, a lot of price. And then number two is you have the 200-day moving average. So it's struggling, and you can see it wicked right up to the 200-day and got rejected and pulled back, at least so far today. If you look down in here, there is a lot of time left in today's candle. So we will see what happens here. I just wanted to share with you that if you put these boxes, if you can find areas of support and resistance, and then you can box them in like I did on the charts here, it can give you just a quick visual of when price is ready to move out of a trading range. So whether that is to the upside like it was over here, or like to the downside in more recent times in January. So we're at a crucial time right now. This thing is either going to get rejected and roll back over, or it's going to have a blast higher, and it's going to hopefully get, first of all, above this resistance level, and second of all, above this 200-day and close. I'm going to go with the latter, and I think this thing is just taking a breather, and hopefully, well, we'll see, moves to the upside. But of course, there is no guarantees on that. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer, and perhaps we'll get rejected. Maybe we'll come back down to, I think I mentioned this in a comment actually to somebody. So this high here on the 18th of March was the high, yeah, that 890 level. I had mentioned that you could get a pullback potentially to that 890 level, find support there, and then start to move higher. Of course, not financial advice. And then throughout yesterday's candle, as we continued to move higher, and then even today we moved higher, that 890 level looked like it was not even going to get tested to the backside. But if we do continue lower here, we could be at that 890 level before you know it. But I don't know. We're having quite the battle here at this area. It's trying to turn this area into support, and it's doing quite well. Also, another thing, let me show you one more thing, and it'll take that support area, and it'll also correlate it with something else here. So understand, I am extremely bullish on CASPER longer term. This is just very day by day, short term. Just looking at it very short term. At any moment, this thing could blast like past all of these overhead resistance levels, past this area of what now is the battle between resistance and support, and could be up in here very quick. So it's all up to the boys in charge. So let me take a look here. I want to show you one more thing. So this was mentioned in yesterday's video, but you can see right now we're basically pinned at this price. So I just took this swing high here to the swing low and then zoom over. And you can see we are stuck right here. Right here. It is very interesting. We are stuck right at that range. Let me get rid of that. Let's try another. It's probably going to put us below the 236 fib level. We'll take this more of a major move here. Yep, that puts us right at the 236. So that is quite interesting as well. Another area. And it makes sense. We are stuck. We are pinned at a fib level, as well as dealing with overhead resistance all up in here. And we are trying to turn that into support. So I also had mentioned in yesterday's video, once this thing does move higher, now this is assuming it moves, at a slower speed. It just takes its time. It doesn't just blast past all of these levels. That 12-cent level, which we, at some point today, I don't really know. I wasn't looking at the charts all day or all night anyways. It's early here. We hit a high of, looks like almost 11 cents, 10.96. But that 12 cent is the next upside area. And that correlates with this whole, I see I could put a box around this as well. Whoop. That is the wrong thing there. So yeah, I could box this in as well. Just, you could box in the larger areas or the smaller areas, and you can see how we are wicking right below that same area. That's where we wicked up today anyways. So just some support and resistance, nothing too complicated, nothing too overthought. Fibs, support and resistance, and it kind of gives you a little bit more clarity on where price could go to the upside and both to the downside. So go ahead and give that a shot on your charts. Try to box in certain areas, and you'll be a little bit more in tune with how price is traded. Now, you could take even a more stepped back approach. So you could take this whole area here. So we'll take that high here, zoom all the way over to basically the lows right in here. And this is one giant trading range here. So like how we broke it down into this range, and then we had a center range here, and then we had a range over to the right. That is a little bit more of a zoomed in approach, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not right nor wrong, but you could also take a more of a stepped back, longer term view and put a much larger trading range, a box, if that's what you want to call it. And you could see how, well, we obviously double bottomed over in here. I think it was the 15th of March, which correlated with this area. So this price support over in here, once we got back down to that in the middle of March, it once again confirmed that that area is support. And then we got that reaction to the upside. But it it could have just as easily broken down out of this range. So like I was mentioning, when you get the breaks above and below these boxes, when it got down to this range, this where the other low was over in here in July, it could have, and I did mention that back during that time in March, it could have easily broke below that range and that would have now turned what was support over here in July of 21 into overhead resistance. It didn't do that. I thought there was more of a chance of it doing a double bottom, getting bought up and getting a reaction to the upside, which looking back, obviously we did get that. We will see. There is definitely going to be a battle because we're sitting right now at a fib level. We're also sitting at prior overhead resistance correlated with the 200-day moving average in red right here. So we kind of have three things that are working against CASPER, but I think this thing is quite strong and will continue. Will continue its uptrend. It's just taking a little breather right now, but who knows what'll happen. So of course, not financial advice. Wanted to share one more thing with you guys over here on my screen. Let me throw an arrow right down below here. I have like a sticky note, and it says, when everyone goes left, make sure to go right. So when the crowd goes left, make sure to go right. What does that mean? Why do I mention that? Well, down in here at that low on CASPER, it's like the 15th of March, where we had that candle that basically looked like the selling had dried up. There was a lot of negative news and, Wall Street, whatever, blood in the streets. And you were seeing it all over that people were, doubting CASPER and all this stuff. And they were throwing in the towel, selling their shares. So take that back to that, if you want to call it a quote. Everybody was going left, right? But those who can take their emotions out of trading and can see opportunity when it's in front of them and playing the odds, and the odds, I thought anyways, that you would get a double bottom and you would find support back where this old area found support. So everybody went left. They dumped their shares. They, lost their hope in CASPER, whatever. And those that went right, those that saw that as opportunity, obviously down at 5 cents. We are sitting up here at, looks like 9 cents right now. You could see just a little example of when the crowd goes left, sometimes you got to go right, and sometimes that will work out quite well for you. So just wanted to share that. All right, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Thanks once again. Consider subscribing if you have not yet subscribed. Check our links out down in the video description. Help support the channel. Greatly appreciate all of that. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on CASPER. I enjoy reading those and seeing everybody's thoughts, getting back to all of you. And have a great weekend. I will be back with some more videos. Take care.